Hi, hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Veronica and I'm a big lover of makeup, so if you want to see more reviews, looks and more fun videos, don't forget to subscribe. In today's video we are gonna rank some eyeshadow formulas, so if you are curious about that, please keep watching. Apparently I am in a big mood of rankings because I'm filming a bunch of them, but they are fun. What can I say? I really like ranking stuff. I feel like it puts a bit into perspective what is really good, what is medium or in the middle, and what is not the best. So today I am ranking 12, yes, I think 12 formulas, and I will let you know why is my favorite formula, why is my least favorite formula, my least favorite one, and a bit of information just to put into perspective all of these. Because I don't have really bad quality shadows in here, it comes only to preferences and stuff like that. So I want to mention, I choose in here 12 formulas where I tested the matte formula and the shimmer formula. So I have some palettes in my collection that are full matte or full shimmers. I didn't include those because I need to know the shimmers and the mattes as well, so more than one formula. Then I included in here formulas where I tested something a bit more colorful and neutrals, because I have, for example, the Wet n Wild color icon palette, and that is so neutral, so I can't rank that because usually colorful shadows are a bit more hard to do. So some of these are not very colorful, but just something in there, something a bit harder to formulate. And last thing that I want to note in here is that for some formulas I tested only one palette, but I took into consideration the color stories of the other palettes that they offer as well, because I want to include the brands where I tested only one palette, because it shows that the formula is not my preferred one. So that's the reason I didn't buy anything else, because you are gonna see on the top part of this ranking I have multiple palettes, and that is because I love the formula. So let's start with number 12, and I have NYX on that spot. This is not a bad formula, but like I said, I like others more. So let me explain. The matte formula is pretty good. I would say that is like a 7 or something like that. It is pretty pigmented, pretty blendable, so overall I do like the matte formula from NYX, and I did test other palette in the past. I don't remember the name. It was something reddish on that side, and I did like that one as well. The problem that I have with NYX, and I have tested the full shimmer palette as well, the problem that I have with NYX is the shimmers. They are beautiful, but they are so flaky that you will have shimmers all over your face. So that's the reason this is a bit lower. It is from the drugstore, so I do recommend it if you want something a bit more affordable, even though these palettes are not that affordable. But overall, I do like the color story of this and everything, but just because the shimmers are a bit too hard to work with, this is the reason this is a bit low. You need to spray your brushes and apply some glitter glue for the shimmers to work good, so that's the reason I put this one this low. Next we have Huda Beauty, and right now I own this palette, and this is a full matte palette, but previously I owned the Mercury Retrograde, and I love that palette. So because of that, I know the formula, so I could rank this one as well. This one is not my favorite palette because it has these two cream shadows in here. They are creasing a bit. This palette is nice, the mattes are good, but these two cream shadows, not my favorite. So because of that, I could rank this one a bit lower. And as well, I took into consideration that they are not offering very colorful shadows. In the Mercury Retrograde, you have like 2-3 shades that are a bit more colorful. The tealy shade, it's pretty good from the Mercury Retrograde, but considering the color story and considering these cream shadows and the shimmers that are not that special, I decided to put the Huda Beauty formula in here. So again, not the worst formula, but not my favorite either. Next we have LH Cosmetics, and today actually I used this palette and another one that we are gonna talk about in a second, just to gather some fresh thoughts, because I don't love this, I don't like it even, I don't like this palette, because the color story is not for me. in any shape or form, I could see myself decluttering this one. It's just not is not my preferred palette. But I tested it again today, like I said, to be a fresh impression, because I knew that the matte formula is good, and it is pretty good. But as well, the other color stories that they are offering, they are not interesting to me. And the shimmers from here are pretty okay, nothing special. I am wearing this one in here, and it is a beautiful shade, but it's not that impressive. And they have this formula that is like a satiny. It's useless in my opinion. It's taking space of this small palette, and it is a bad formula in my opinion. I could see myself testing other palettes at some point from them when they will release something for me. Next we have the Sigma formula, and this is the other palette that I used today just to get a fresh impression. And again, the matte formula from Sigma is carrying this palette pretty hard. The shimmers are just nothing special, and this one is again some kind of satiny shade, not my favorite one. And considering that they are not offering other color stories that I would like, that's the reason I put this one low. But again, the matte formula is good, the shimmer one is lacking a bit. Next we have Little Cosmetics, and they are doing something totally opposite to Sigma or LH Cosmetics, because you can create your own color story, and that is amazing. So I can say that they don't offer a color story for me, because I created practically this palette. So it is a beautiful formula. For Little Cosmetics, I would say that I like the shimmer formula a bit more than the matte one, but the matte one is pretty good. So I am happy with the formula. They offer colorful shades and neutrally shades, so you can match whatever you like. And overall, I think it is a really good indie brand, and I think the formula is pretty good. On number 7, we have Viseart, and what I like the most about Viseart are the mattes. The mattes are really pigmented, blendable, buildable, they are really good. The shimmers in this palette are pretty basic, not something special, but recently I purchased this quad, and this shimmer in here is something a bit different, a bit more flaky, duochromatic, a bit more of a toppery shade, so they can do different shimmer formulas as well. So I really like the formula of Viseart, and this one has a bit of a more colorful color story, so they can do dark shades, they can do shimmery shades, they can do colorful shades. So I really like Viseart, and I could see myself purchasing something new in the future, but sadly they don't offer my favorite type of color story. So because of that, I have only 2 palettes, but if they will release something a bit more my taste, I will for sure buy it, because the formula is really good. On number 6, I put ABH, and I was thinking just a minute ago if I want to put Viseart on top of ABH or not, because I prefer the matte formula of Viseart a bit, but I prefer the color stories of ABH just a bit. They are on the neutrally side, but Viseart is doing a lot of neutrals as well, and even though they offer a lot of colorful shades as well, I kind of just prefer the format and everything of the ABH palettes, so that's the reason I put it on top. The ABH formula, it is a pretty easy to work with formula, so because of that I put it this high. And I really like the shimmers in this palette. This is the Cosmos palette, the newer one, and I had this palette previously, and even though it is a neutral palette, it is a neutral palette with a bit of a twist, which I really like. You have this green shade, and then you have this purple, this peacock shade is pretty duochromatic and nice. You get some normal shimmers in here, but as well some flakier shimmers, so because of that I put ABH on this spot. Next, I put something a bit unexpected. When I bought this palette, I didn't think that I would love it that much, and it is the Nimya palette and the Nimya formula. So again, this is a bit of a neutral palette, but you get something just a bit colorful, and the mattes are amazing. The mattes are really, really nice, and they are powder mattes, but somehow they seem creamy. They are very easy to blend, buildable, blendable, and pigmented. I really like them, and this orange is so pigmented, so nice, and you get a blue as well, and this one is pigmented as well. And then the shimmers are pretty beautiful. Not my absolutely favorite type of shimmers because they are more on that high shine pigmented shimmers, but you get some sparkle with them. So I prefer, for example, this shimmer formula over the Viseart one, but this palette did impress me, and I am curious what they are gonna do next because this formula is really, really amazing. On number 4, I put BH Cosmetics. They have amazing formulas. I really like them, and they are a bit more affordable, so I like that too. The shimmers from BH are not my favorite ones, but the mattes are so good, and they have a lot of colorful shades, and they are not afraid of color, and they are doing colorful mattes amazingly. So because of that, I did rank them this high, because the matte colorful shades are perfection. They are so good. I hope BH will continue to do these amazing formulas. On number 3, I need to put Kaleidos, because again, these mattes are impressive. They are pigmented, blendable, buildable, and everything. And I put this one on top of BH because the shimmers are beautiful and they are a bit more impressive and that kind of toppery shades. I love this palette, and I love the formulas in here. They are really good and really easy to work with, even though they are very colorful. Let's get into number 2, because this was hard. And I did rank Natasha Denona on number 2. That maybe is surprising, but I have another formula that I like just a bit more. So I have a lot of palettes from Natasha Denona, and I will continue to buy them because I love the formulas and I love the color stories. That's the reason I put Natasha Denona this high. Not because I don't like the Viseart mattes, for example, but because they have so many color stories that I absolutely love. They are not afraid of color. They have different formulas. They have multi-chromes, mattes, cream to powders, shimmers with glittery shades, and I just love them. This is the newest palette in my collection, is the Yucca palette. Absolutely stunning, and these mattes are so easy to blend, so easy to work with, and I love the shimmers as well. This shimmer in here is absolutely stunning, and they are not afraid of color. Like I said, I have the Pastel palette and it is very colorful. You can create beautiful looks with every color. It's not hard to create a look with them, and they are so easy to blend. I really love the formula, so because of that I put this one number 2. And lastly we have the number 1, and I put in here another indie brand, and I put it on top of Natasha Denona because I prefer the shimmers of this brand a bit more, and I feel like just a bit, just like a drop in an ocean. I feel like the matte formula is a bit more pigmented, but like I said, just by a tiny bit. And I put this brand on top of Kaleidos, not because Kaleidos formulas are not perfection really, but because I didn't purchase something else after this palette, because they don't have something else for me at this moment. So my first spot, it is Uda. I don't have anything bad to say about this. The artwork of the palettes as well, absolutely stunning, but today we are talking about formulas, and these are my favorite formulas. The mattes are pigmented but blendable and buildable. You can build 3 mattes on top of each other. That is a bit hard to do, but you can do that, and the shimmers are absolutely stunning. This multi-chrome is so stunning, and this one in here, it's so pretty. I can't believe how pretty that shade is. I really appreciate this palette, and I purchased something else after that. I bought the Verdandi one, and this palette is so yummy as well. So stunning. And then I have the Wood as well, and I love green, so this is one of my favorite palettes right now. And I really like that they have normal shimmers, so high pigment shimmers, and then they have some taupery shades as well. And then I purchased some singles as well, and these are beautiful, but they are different. This one is more like a taupery iridescent shade, and this one is full pigment and shine kind of shimmer. And then they have multi-chromes as well, and this is the one that I picked, and it's so stunning. I really love these formulas. They are amazing, and the mattes are absolutely stunning. So because of everything that I mentioned, they are number 1. So this was everything. It was a pretty hard ranking video because I really love eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is my favorite step in makeup, and I love eyeshadow. It's just making me happy, so it was very hard to rank this, but I did, so that is that. And yeah, so if you like this video and you want to see more from me, please subscribe and give it a like, and I'll see you next time.